So the Supreme Court ruled against Donald Trump for the first time since April. Woo! And I have a prediction I'm going to revive from the past that I'm going to bring back. If you want to hear it, listen to the whole thing. Now, here's the deal. The Trump administration, Donald Trump issued an executive order or guidance trying to block immigration judges from their, being able to do speaking engagements. That's how a lot of them make some money. So they were like, what the hell? They sued on First Amendment grounds. Now, quick little background for those you don't know who aren't familiar with the way civics works in the United States, really quick. On the United States Constitution, Article 1 lays out the legislature, which is Congress. Article 2 talks about the executive, the president and the executive agencies. In Article 3, you have the judiciary, which is like from the federal district court judges on up to the Supreme Court. However, in the executive, there are agencies that have judges. So the agency include like Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Federal Trade Commission, the Federal Communication Commission, the Patent Office, the Immigration Courts. All of these are under executive agencies, and some of them, like the immigration, have judges. And here's the thing: the executive, the president, actually can fire the judges because that's in the executive. The president cannot fire judiciary Article 3 judges because they are given lifetime appointments after being appointed by a judge and confirmed by Senate. So there's no way that the president can fire them. They could be impeached through Congress through like 2/3. It's hard. They'll never get impeached. Any effort to remove them ain't gonna happen. So once you get it, that's like you got it for life. However, they can fire and rule and control the executive. So they try to stop them from having speaking gigs. And they're like, that's how we make our money. But obviously, the Trump administration is probably scared that they're going to be out there speaking and talking about the crap they're doing to people. And so the National Association of Immigration Judges sued. And they were like, this is against the law. The federal district court judge that got their case said, you need to go exhaust your administrative remedies first. Like, there's other means you go before you come to the court, go exhaust your administrative remedies, right? So, what administrative remedies? They normally would go to the Office of Special Counsel. Who fired the Office of Special Counsel, Hampton Dillinger, like within 2 days of coming into office? Donald Trump. So, or they would go to the Merit System Protection Board. Looks like Donald Trump got rid of that person as well. Fired, Kathy, forget her name. She fought hard. I did cases on her. They got rid of her too. So where the hell are we supposed to go? Court of Appeals, like, they got a point. So the Court of Appeals, which is the next level, said, all right, told the judge below, listen, they got a point. You got to look at this. While they're looking at that case, punk-ass John Sauer, on behalf of the Trump administration, they run into the Supreme Court. Daddy, Supreme Court, they're going to stop them, issue a stay. And initially, Chief Justice Roberts got their emergency case, and because he does it all the time, granted it really quickly. And when the courts looked at it, the justices looked at it, they said, wait a minute, there's no harm here. What is your harm to them looking at get out, kick them to the curb. Now, here's the standard for the harm standard, and here's how I say this. The Supreme Court has chilled. What they've done over the summer has actually caused a chilling effect of the judges, including what this judge did in this case. What normally happens is, because of the how long it takes for a case to be disposed, you have hearings, you have back and forth, you have document exchanges. It could take like weeks to months. They have expedited cases that happen pretty quickly because we've seen them. However, for the most part, it could take weeks to months. So the judges will assess. You could ask for an injunctive relief, preliminary injunction, or temporary restraining order because you say, I got a strong case here. They're violating the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, 10th Amendment, 14th Amendment. It's clear violations. There's no wiggle room here. And they're going to lose. And then if we don't stop them now until we finally decide they lose, people are going to lose their job. The probation employees are going to lose their job. Folks are going to get deported to South Sudan and third-party countries, and then it's going to eventually send them on to a place where they have a likely fear of persecution. What happened in Ghana case? Folks are going to make me not here. Food's going to spoil on the tarmac. Grants are going to be suspended, and the research is going to impact us. So the irreparable harm is such that I'm going to grant you, stop this administration policy from going forward so y'all can live y'all lives. The Supreme Court has been coming up and stopping them from doing that, the district court judges. They said, no, don't get in the way. Let them carry out their agenda. So part of their agenda is allowing people to use race to harass people. Part of their agenda is taking away grants for based on the fact that they mentioned black, racism. Their agenda is nothing but hate, racism, culture wars. There is no agenda, Supreme Court. Why are you stopping them? There's no agenda. They're just violating the law based on culture wars. So that's what they've been doing, balancing the power in favor of the Trump administration for losing money. Meanwhile, the true harm is to the people. What this signals, I think, that they finally are stopping Donald Trump. Remember, and this is where I say my prediction came in. A little while ago, Donald Trump was on the record and said that I'm running out of time. They tell me I'm running out of time. And a lot of people were like, oh, yeah? We thought that meant his doctor told him something. Sorry, his doctor told him something we don't know. We're like, oh, maybe he's about to be out of here. We're about to be free. And I said, no, I think that what he means is that the Supreme Court gave him a nod and wink early and said, we're going to let you carry out your agenda for 1 full year. But when these cases are done being disposed of and you lose and you appeal them back to us, we have an obligation to actually follow the law. And if we follow the law, you're going to lose. I think he's going to lose the birthright citizenship case, not just because Amy Coney Barrett and Neil Gorsuch had already signaled, no, Brett Kavanaugh have already signaled that they're going to support the bloodline citizenship is still law. I don't know about the other three. So that's a 5-4. So he's going to lose there. And then there's other cases, I think, because they're clear violation of just clear policy breaks, that he's going to lose. There are some that he may win. The thing with the FTC, it looks like he's... Anyway, there's some that he might win. But the majority of them, I think he's going to lose just because there's such blatant violation. There's no wiggle room. So I think the Supreme Court signaled to him, like, dude, you got a year to do this, whatever you got to do. But when we still have to follow the law. So to stick to you violating the law, you got to wrap that up, which is bad if that's the case. But that was my prediction a little while ago. I don't know if it's true. I do think that he's going to lose the birthright citizenship case. That's a non-starter. Come back here when that case is handed down next summer, and I can be like, I told you so. But yeah, so I think that's what was going on. But anyway, so that's it. But he lost. It's a loss for him. I'm in the dockets, and I tell you that it chilled. And what I say is that by this judge saying, go exhaust your administrative remedies is part of the chilling effect. Because had this been earlier on in January, February, she might have immediately be like, yeah. I got you, immigration judges. But she was like, no, exhaust. So now she's actually looking at it. So now that the Supreme Court has told the Trump administration, deny your stay request, denied, get the fuck out of here. It's a loss. Because they've been giving him a bunch of like procedural wins forever and ever. We've given up. I'm just like, all right, fine. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. I was like, no. When it comes to some substance, they got their back, which I said initially. But then people were pointing out, like, yes, JJ. However, the impact of the procedural losses is devastating. And I've seen the devastation. Because I'm in the dockets. I'm seeing the stories. I'm seeing the declarations filed by the people. Because, again, the case continues. And I'm like, oh, my God. So, yeah, I stopped saying, well, it's just procedural, it's just procedural, because I don't want to diminish the real impact of a procedural win. So, but he had lost substantively. The 9-0, Kilma Abrego, bring him back. 9-0 saying everyone's entitled to due process. It was like 5-4 or so saying that he has to pay out the money owed already to people who on the USAID existing contracts. He lost, it was a couple others, but not that many. But he has had substantive losses this year. And, the big one. This is not a substantive law, but they declined to hear Epstein cases, things been released. They declined to hear. He asked to not be sentenced. He asked them to reassess his sentencing and stop him from being sentenced in New York. And they were like, nope. So it's not a substantive win, but the past is kind of like them saying, like, yeah, when you do something that violates a state law, when you do something that's clearly outside the scope of your duties, what does you stealing votes or trying to get votes? And we've seen something came out recently. What does that have to do with your official duties? It doesn't. That's you trying to win. So, yeah, we're not going to stop you. So that's also a bellwether sign of the future. So, because he's done a lot of state violations. He's done a lot of things that's outside scope. So if he survives these 4 years, I think it's teed up for him to be prosecuted on the other side. So, yeah, it's coming. And he's committing crimes. Anyway, JJ Legal, each one teach one. Head out to my website, JJ Legal, where you can download my Trump Survivor Guide, which include free scripts for what to say if you see someone being unlawfully detained or brutalized. I have know your rights cards at the airports, how to get in class action suits, all the stuff, over 14. And then I have case trackers so you can track the cases and be a docket queen like me and know where you can get your own copy so you can read it for yourself. JJ Legal, each one teach one. Share this video so more people know the good news. Good News Friday. Yay.